Hello, world. We're back again for another fun edition of the Unpadded Podcast with your host, me, and my tag team partner, the Bruise Meister himself, drinking cold beer, hot whiskey, and talking Sting retirement match and Elimination Chamber. Is this the end for Randy Orton? We'll find out.
Yo, monkeys, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga. And baby, it is time. It is time for the Towers of Powers, the men of the hour. I'm talking about my main men, the men with the plan. I'm talking about Whiskey Pro and the Bruise, baby. And we're bringing you the best in beerskis and whiskeys from the greatest city in the world, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, can you dig that, baby? These guys are going to make you boys feel the bang. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
No, the intro was not bugging out for me.
Oh, then I don't know what the hell was going on my end. It would play for just a little bit, and then the audio would stop. I thought maybe I fucked up something. And then it would jump ahead a couple of seconds. I'm like, okay, something's wrong with this intro. I got to figure it out. But if it wasn't messy for you, then that'll work.
No, so fun fact is Sam decided to move her bunny Blair, into my man cave because she went on a cleaning spree and cleaned and did an amazing job. But she put the fucking bunny in my man cave right off to the side of the screen here. And so while DDP is giving us that Hall of Fame like intro, I hear scratching and thumping and running around, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm looking around and I can't hear anything with my headphones on except for what's in front of me. So, man, how the hell are you?
I've got no complaints, man. Just keeping on. How about you?
I was doing fine, and of course, lo and behold, the dogs haven't barked in an hour. We start the show and Tucker's out there barking. It's like they know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But no, man, I'm doing good. I had a good weekend. We had a late birthday sleepover for Carter and some of his friends. I think we had at one point like 11 or 12 teenage boys in our house. We went to a place called Dave's Chicken out in Plano. I got to give them a quick shout out. So I've heard about this place and I've heard about this place and I've heard about this place. They have like 5 or 6 different levels of spice. No spice, medium, mild, hot, and then like Reaper.
Okay.
I'll say this: bring your checkbooks. It's expensive, but
like Babe's Chicken expensive or tolerable?
So they only have basically like 3 or 4 menu items, but they have, like I said, their spices. There's different levels. The Reaper is like the hottest of all. But for now, all the boys brought money. Okay. So understand that. Again, we're feeding 14, 16 people. The boys all brought their own money. So out the door, I think with like a total of 12 sandwiches, a big thing of fries, 2 kids' meals. And there was a couple other little knickknacks that we got. It was $255.
Bro, I'm looking at some of these pictures, man. This is fucking phenomenal.
Dude, I tell you what, it's worth to go one time. Take the family, go one time, but I'm telling you, bring your checkbook.
Dave's Hot Chicken out on Preston, right?
Yep. They've got a few on Preston. They got one in Dallas off of Preston. They've got one in Plano off of Preston. Now, I will say this. The boys understand they've eaten at this place. They know. They got the hot. They got the hot the first time they went. This time when they all got together for the sleepover, they did not get the hot. They got the mild and the medium. So if you are sensitive to heat, Don't do it. I got the hot because I'm stupid and I like to punish myself. It wasn't that bad for me, but I have a high tolerance for pain as far as heat goes. Now, ask my heartburn, tell you a different story. But if you're going to go, I highly suggest get the mild or the medium, just because that hot does burn your lips. Not so much in the mouth, but the lips, man. My lips were on fire. I was like, whew, that's got a kick to it. The only other one up behind that, I think, is a Reaper, and you actually have to sign a waiver before you can eat that one. That tells you how hot it is.
Oh shit!
So, but shout out to them. Their staff was, I think, sorry if I get his name wrong. I think his name was Caleb. Super, super nice kid. Young. It was a bunch of young kids. I'd say 19, 20, 21 years old. But they were super helpful, super patient. Got me through my order, and even with the big order that we had, I think I was in and out of there in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, and they got everything right. Food was still fresh and hot. It was good, man. I loved it. I'll go back. I don't know if I'll go back for feeding 14 people, but I'll definitely go back again. So big shout out to them. We had a kind of a weird weekend. We got to go fishing, which I'm gonna be doing that more this summer. So it was a good weekend and it was relaxing, but I didn't get to make it out because somebody got a long time coming and I didn't. And I'm super jelly. Super jelly.
I got 2 left, bro. You need to bring your ass over here, man. I'm telling you.
Speaking of which, and I forgot to talk to you about this on the show. We can talk more about it off, but I guess this weekend, Carrollton having a Texas Beer Fest.
Yeah, but it costs money. And I have the boys this weekend. It's easier to arrange going to a brewery with both of them, especially Denton County.
Gotcha.
Because they both like walking the square, going to like ice cream shop, the comic book store, things like that.
Gotcha.
A lot easier to plan instead of drop money to go to a beer festival where they're not gonna have anything to fucking do.
I got you because Sam wants to go to that. So
I think it's like $50 a ticket.
Yeah,
let me
we
double
might just
check.
We might just go to a brewery, but
It's the Carrollton one, right?
Yeah, Texas Beer Fest. I think it's this weekend or next weekend. I don't remember.
Beer Fest 24, because it's not Big Texas Beer Fest. That's in April. More events.
No. Blue's got to chime in.
Beer Festival, Carrollton, Texas. How about that?
Sam sent me something. I don't know.
March 2nd, Carrollton's Tex Fest.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Activities, vendors, beer. Oh, they have a pretty good selection.
Yeah, and you're right there next to Three Nations.
Yeah. Where are tickets?
We're doing this in real time, folks. Hang on.
I was gonna say something smart assy, but never mind.
The bunny is scratching around. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
So it doesn't have a ticket.
I guess it's free to get into.
Oh no, here it is. Eventbrite.
So
Saturday, March 2nd from 3 to 9.
Ooh.
Tickets don't go on sale until March 2nd. So the day of.
Ooh.
It doesn't even tell you how much the tickets are, man.
Well, that's kind of ghetto. Oh well. Anyways, we might do that. I don't know. I do plan on going.
I'll pass.
We do plan on going and getting some more long time coming. We might make our way out to that Texas Beer Fest. I said fishing is going to be one of my new things that not new, but one of the things I get back to because I really miss it. And we went this weekend, and while everybody else gave up, I caught the only fish. The old worm and hook didn't let me down, so I was happy. But no, man. So what are you drinking tonight? Because I know you're excited about this beer, and it's coming from Denton County. So let me hear it.
Coming from Denton County. This is the second year that I've enjoyed it. It's the 8-foot. Let me try and get it in frame. The 8-foot Leprechaun. It's an Imperial Red Ale, 8% ABV. Super fucking smooth. Really, really good. It will knock you on your ass after a little bit. And in a week and a half, St. Patty's Day weekend, they are releasing a 9-foot Leprechaun, which is I believe it's a wine barrel aged, and that's gonna be like a 9 or 10%er.
Oof.
I'm looking forward to that one, dude.
I got the Fiesta Fresca. Is that how you say it?
Fiesta, yeah. So apparently we're just doing a Denton County podcast today, right?
Well, not completely, because if anybody knows me, knows how much I love blondes, and I do have the Dallas blonde, which I know it's kind of a cop out, but I enjoy these on occasion, and I had one in the fridge, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna throw it. And also, so I'm gonna touch on this just real quick. We all know that we don't really talk AEW here. We're not really AEW fans. We're more WWE, but this is a wrestling podcast. This is a whiskey podcast, a beer podcast, and this is our podcast. That being said, we'll get into it a little bit more, but Sting is having his final match, I believe, tomorrow night on AEW. I believe to be so. I could be wrong, but I think that's when it's happening.
Okay.
But I do know it's coming up soon because it's in March of this year. So that being said, Lead Slingers Blue Line. If you know anything about me, know that I love and support our men and women in blue. I absolutely love law enforcement. It is a huge passion of mine, something I'm very passionate about. I saw the bottle, thin blue line, Lead Slingers. Had to bring it up. So I've had this once or twice before, but I don't really remember it. It was one of those kind of late nights, kind of, we'll see. Oh, it smells like kerosene. To Sting's last match. Cheers. Oi, oi, oi.
Cheers. Oi, oi, oi.
Ooh.
And I apologize now if I'm looking off into the. I just realized you never posted on Twitter that we went live, so I'm doing that.
I'm sorry. That's surprisingly smooth. It smells like kerosene, but it's super smooth. I'm noticing a trend with our whiskeys. We get whiskeys that smell horrible and then taste good. But no, man, I really like this. It's bourbon whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 750 milliliters. Like I said, this is, I don't know, $25, $30 bottle at Total Wine and More. Everybody expects because I'm the Whiskey Pro that I drop a bunch of money on whiskey. I really don't. Like I'll go look for the cheapest whiskey I can find and try it out just because I can. But I like the bottle. Again, thin blue line. Why not? Like the graphics on it. So there we are. There we go. But that is to Sting's last match, whenever that might be. I think it's Wednesday or tomorrow night. I'm not 100% on that. I could be wrong. But man, it's crazy. Like, it's coming. These things happen, but like when they actually happen, it's just crazy.
Yeah, because we were talking about the same thing with Undertaker's last match and Ric Flair's last match and Shawn Michaels, And
it's like it's the end of an era, and I'll pull back the curtain a little bit about the shows. We talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about with you guys, and then we don't really know. It's just kind of comes up, but I got to thinking about it today, and I was like, it's crazy to me that it truly is. And I know this is an overused phrase in sports, but it's like the end of an era. It really is, because Undertaker's gone, Triple H is gone, Shawn Michaels is gone, Ric Flair. Well, you never know with Flair. Look, I love him to death, but you never know. But Sting, man, Sting. He has that nickname, the Icon, and look, Sting's been around, man. He was a kid when he came into the business with Ric Flair.
Flair helped him out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, I was watching the Ric Flair documentary on Netflix the other night,
Yeah.
And it boggled my mind that he was there when Sting was first starting out. Like, I mean, I remember the Four Horsemen. I remember Arn Anderson. I remember all of that.
Ole Anderson passed away, R.I.P.
Yeah, but it did not dawn on me just how long ago that really was.
I don't remember this beer being that stout. Excuse me.
That's
Dallas
stout.
Blonde. Yeah, it's got a kick. It's got a kickback to it. It's got that aftertaste that I always talk about.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't like that beer. I love the brewery. Do not get me wrong. Deep Ellum Brewery, I really, really like. I'm not a fan of the blonde though. I prefer their IPA a lot more.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just what you said. It's that aftertaste with the blonde. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. There's no telling how long I've had this beer in that refrigerator. This could be a 3-year-old beer. I don't know.
Yo, when you come over, and we do a live video here in the brew cave, we're having that 6-7-year-old beer.
Ooh.
Come on.
All right, but I'm kicking your ass if I end up getting like food poisoning.
All right, deal.
All right.
But kick my ass after I get better, because I'll probably have food poisoning too.
I'll kick your ass while we're both throwing up.
All right.
But so again, guys, I'll be honest. I don't have a lot of direction tonight. We're winging it, and that's totally fine. But there are a couple of key points I wanted to talk about. And Bruce, if you've got anything, man, you know me, just throw it out there. But we got to talk Elimination Chamber, right? I mean, at least touch on it a little bit. And we kind of called it. We kind of all saw it coming. It was predictable. Look, the women's match was awesome. And I did watch it. Believe it or not, I actually watched it. The women's match was really good. The men's match was good. But again, it was good. Like, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I think the thing with Logan Paul and RKO was kind of cool, but I don't know. And we all kind of knew Drew was going to win it, or it was either going to be Drew or it was going to be Randy Orton. We knew that.
Honestly, I pegged. I think I said maybe a couple weeks ago, I pegged Drew McIntyre or Logan Paul, because I thought it was going to be one of the. Now, granted, you can throw Bobby Lashley in there as a heel, but I thought it was going to be one of those top 2 heels going against Seth Rollins.
I don't know, man. I like the Elimination Chamber. I understand the purpose behind it. I just felt. Now, I will say this. I will give a lot of respect where respect is due. The Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley stole the show. Of course, it was Rhea Ripley's hometown. It's where she's from. It's her home country. She's the hero, and she normally is a heel, but in this case, she's the hero.
Oh yeah,
and I
like
don't
they
understand.
drowned out Dom as soon as he was introducing her. You could not get a single word out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But the second she spoke, dude, it was like she was a babyface. That's huge pop.
I want people to understand the importance of that match. And people, I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I'm not trying to be funny. This is not for the show. This is coming from me. Whatever hometown you're from, okay, you've become a megastar in your own right. You are the champion of wrestling. And you're coming to your hometown and a crowd full of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80,000 people, and they're all cheering for you. How awesome is that?
That's
I mean,
pretty awesome, dude.
It was like when Stone Cold came back to Dallas for WrestleMania. I don't care if you're a 30-year-old vet. I don't care if you're a rookie and it's your first time at WrestleMania. To be in your hometown and to be, in the state that you grew up in and a couple of hours away, an hour away, or right there, dude, that is awesome. and that is things that kids dream of, you know. And how many times as kids do we grow up, you know, wanting to hit that bottom of the ninth, 2 strikes, 3 ball home run, you know, to win the World Series, blah 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 blah. Kick the winning field goal, score the winning touchdown. The list is endless, right? And Rhea Ripley got to do that in her hometown. Now she got beat up for 18 minutes of the 20-minute match. She got her ass kicked. But regardless, they put on a hell of a show. I'm not an Nia Jax fan, really. I'm not. And yes, part of it's because she's related to The Rock. I'm not gonna lie.
What is she, like a first cousin, second cousin, something like that?
45th cousin, I don't know. But that has something to do with it. I'm a little bitter about The Rock at this point because I'm just tired of hearing about the bloodline and blah 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 blah. Fuck me, go fuck your uncle. I don't care. But the other part of that is I don't know. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax. I can't put my finger on it. Now, the promo, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. The promo to last night with Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch was very corny, but was very good. It was a wrestling promo. Very corny, but I was still like, okay, I can get with this. It's kind of cool. You know, the whole thing with Dom, like, okay, whatever. Yeah, we know, we get it, you know. And the mommy's always on top. I mean, we know that slogan's coming. But I don't know. There was something about it that just it resonated with me, and I really liked it. And I was like, here's where they lost me. Nia Jax attacks Becky from behind. Like, why? Why are we still doing this? You know, but
I think it's gonna be an effort. They're gonna try and maybe do a triple threat.
Possibly. That's a possibility. Sorry.
I mean, they've done it in the past before.
Yeah. I hit the table and I had like a bunch of dust just hit me right in the eyeball. So I don't know what that's about.
You need to dust and clean that table, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm the world's worst at that. Can you do me a huge favor?
No.
Can you dump that nasty beer out, please?
Oh, this is
We're gonna
Roger's
edit
Spears.
this part out. So
no. Roger Spears Love Street, honey. Get it right.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God, sorry.
Trying to tell me who my favorite singer's beer is. Really? Come on now. All right. Completely side note. I posted this on my personal Facebook page today. Again, this is something personal to me. So if you're not a fan, sorry about your luck. You're listening or watching our podcast, so you're gonna have to hear about it. It was 2 years ago today. 3 years ago today, we lost Russ Martin here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Again, don't know anything about him. Shock jock, Dallas-Fort Worth. Great guy. I got to meet him a couple of times. Was really big into law enforcement, and he donated money to firefighters, EMTs, and police officers that had died serving in the line of duty. So, but 60 years old. Today was 3 years.
And it was 2 years ago?
2 or 3 years ago. Give me a second. I'll check that. But cheers. RIP to Russ Martin.
Yeah, I hardly ever get on Facebook anymore, man.
But I was a huge fan of Russ Martin's. And I started listening to him like 06, 07, and quickly became a huge fan. Again, shock jock. His whole shtick is an asshole. So if you don't like people who are assholes, don't listen, don't watch.
But there goes our audience.
Right. Dan O'Malley and Alfie Coy actually got to carry on. They were nicknamed the Treehouse. They have a podcast now called the Treehouse. Dan O'Malley is, oh God, he's living my dreams so bad right now. Apparently we have a typhoon coming into the kitchen via the ice maker. I'm not afraid to flip you off on camera. I don't care. But Dan O'Malley is living like, I think it's like St. Thomas, St. John, Saint, I don't know. Saint, go fuck your mother. I take your pick. Shit, the whiskey's talking.
Uh-oh.
Anyways,
keep it talking. This is gonna be a good one, man.
Right. They're continuing their show, and I listen to them on occasion. I'll pop in and listen to an episode here or there on Spotify. Good stuff, but RIP to Russ Martin. Back to wrestling. Nikki Jax, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch Promo was great. Again, you kind of expected it. Is what it is. I don't have much more to say than that. Monday Night Raw. Now, I did miss Paul Heyman and the Cody Rhodes bit at the end. I meant to turn it on. I got sidetracked. I went to bed. I was going to watch it today at lunch. Excuse me. And I got sidetracked again. I was going to watch it before the show, and I got sidetracked again. So I did not see the Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman thing. I missed it. But
it reminded me a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day, when McMahon would bring the police out and threaten Austin, and he would just ransack everybody, hit all the cops with chairs, Stone Cold stun them, everything. It reminded me a lot of that.
Can I say something about that? And again, I haven't seen this, so I don't know. But
oh, my bad. Spoiler alert.
You're fine. You're fine. Can we stop with the fake cops, please? And it has nothing to do with me being a supporter of police. Just stop. 2024. Stop. Because we know as soon as those guys are out there, what's going to happen. They're all going to take a bump. They're all wrestlers trying to get their feet wet. And they're all going to get thrown over the top, or they're going to roll out the middle, or they're going to take some half-ass DDT or some really shitty-ass finisher. And then the hero is standing there and like, yeah, dude, we knew that was coming. Like, we saw it a mile. We saw it as soon as I walked down the ramp.
You know,
can we stop?
In all honesty, I think back in the 90s, they were real cops.
To a point. But still,
I didn't think they
actors.
were. I honestly thought that, like, I had read somewhere that they were off-duty officers.
Yeah, that probably got paid $1,000 to take a bump from a professional wrestler.
I'd take it.
Right? No, I mean, look, I love a cheesy gimmick. I do. Alpha Academy is one of my favorites, which, by the way, we got to bring him up. But it's just like every time you see those fake ass security guards, those fake ass cops come out, you know what's going to happen. I want to paint a picture here. Okay. And I know that they talked about it today on the podcast, but I don't know what was said. For once, I'm going into a show tonight, and I don't know what Busted Open has talked about the last 3 days. Not a clue. But I know something along these lines probably got brought up because of who Bubba Ray Dudley is, Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him. You really want to have Cody be a badass? Don't just have him beat The Rock. Don't just have him threaten The Rock. Don't just have him beat Roman or this, that, and the other. You really want to get Cody to be a badass and a certified badass and a certified hero. Have him put so much fear into Paul Heyman that Paul Heyman goes back to Roman Reigns and The Rock and can't even finish a sentence. Have Cody Rhodes put so much fear and beat the ever-living shit out of Solo Sikoa that when he goes back to Roman Reigns, he can't even look him in the face. That is how you create a badass. That is how you make somebody a complete badass.
Have you noticed that we haven't heard anything from Roman, like, ever since, like, he was basically quiet, you know, and in the second half of the
press
announcement of the press conference, he was talkative at first. When Cody got the mic, he shut up, and he has been silent ever since. All you hear is The Rock and Cody Rhodes jawing at each other.
Now,
you have Cody Rhodes issuing an open challenge to The Rock at some point between now and WrestleMania.
Entertain chat for a second. I got to take this.
All right, chat. So I don't understand what direction they plan on going. I really don't think it's going to be the tag team match that everyone is hoping. The Roman Reigns Rock versus Cody and Seth. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do see a lot of posts that people are expecting maybe Cody Rhodes to go through The Rock night 1, and the winner of that match will face Roman Reigns night 2.
They've already announced Cody versus Roman night 2. So regardless if Cody and The Rock fight night 1 and he wins or loses, he still fights Roman. Now, I'm glad you brought that up because you walked right into my trap.
You don't have no trap. I see it a mile away. It has a big old Acme sign over it, man.
I sent you a text message today, and I told you that I couldn't tell you too much because I didn't want to give anything away. And I'm proud of this because I didn't pull this off of a podcast. I didn't pull this off of a website. I thought of this myself, and I'm actually extremely proud of it.
All right, lay it on me, man.
Night 1, The Rock and Cody Rhodes, okay? This can go one of two ways. Cody Rhodes beats The Rock and earns The Rock's respect. The Rock beats Cody Rhodes, but earns The Rock's respect. Now, I want to...
Wait, say that last one again.
Either Cody Rhodes wins and beats The Rock and gains his respect, or he loses to The Rock and still gains his respect.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I misheard. Okay.
Now, night 2, obviously, we all know is going to be Cody versus Roman. We know where that's going.
Right.
Rather than have a bunch of outside interference or look, you can have this, Solo Sikoa, the Usos, Jimmy J, whoever it is, I can't keep up, come out to try to interfere with Cody Rhodes. You can have The Rock come out and say, hey, you know what? Back off. Let Roman do this on his own. I think there's one way that Roman needs to lose the belt. Now, you can go down the Bubba Ray Dudley thing, or Bully Ray from Busted Open, and say that he needs to finish it in Madison Square Garden, which Bully Ray, I am 100% on that hill with you, and I will die on that hill with you. The story started Madison Square Garden. It needs to end there, and I will die on that hill with you. But just for the sake of shits and giggles, if the story does end at WrestleMania 40 this year, then I don't think it needs to be a 1, 2, 3. I don't think it needs to be a disqualification match. I think Cody Rhodes needs to win via tap out. I have a serious question for you. When was the last time you saw any match end in a tap out in the WWE in recent memory?
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Can you imagine being The Rock or being Roman Reigns on the following Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania and saying, you tapped out and gave up the belt. You're no longer head of the table. Psychology wins in wrestling. That's Wrestling 101.
So I can see that. I'm hung up on your original idea of The Rock, and I love the idea of The Rock and Cody Rhodes wrestling. I'm split down the middle as to whether or not I want it on night 1 or not, because you already know Cody's going to win. He has to. Because if you have it on night 1, you're not going to shoot his momentum going into night 2 with a loss. You're going to want him to win.
I disagree with that. And here's why. If he loses to The Rock on night 1, people are going to start hearing, you're going to start hearing the whispers. Can he beat Roman? And that little bit of self-doubt is going to seep in there. Can he really beat Roman? Can he really do this? Can he really? He couldn't beat The Rock. Can he beat the champ? Now, granted, The Rock's a mega superstar and Roman's the champion. So, but when you get pushed down a peg, people will talk. Regardless if it's The Rock, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable, take your pick. if he loses on night one, that self-doubt's going to be there. And he could say, I beat The Rock or I lost to The Rock. And I still got the title. I mean,
Okay, well, here's a question for you.
Okay.
If
I'm playing with a butterfly puppet.
all right, so a lot of people already expect Roman Reigns to retain the title. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the off chance that Cody Rhodes actually pulls off the win,
Which I think you will.
what then?
I asked the same.
Technically, his story is not finished because I guarantee you, Roman Reigns is still going to continue that rivalry to try and get the title back. It's not ending at WrestleMania 40.
Have you not listened to a damn thing I've said the last 3 episodes?
No, I've been drinking.
I'm glad one of us has.
I've been listening. God damn it!
I said the same thing a few weeks ago. Look, you're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because if Cody wins against Roman, the story's over. The story's finished. If he loses, you're going to have a riot on your hands.
If he wins, the story does not finish because the story has always been, in my opinion, the story has not been Dusty not winning the title. It's been
that's exactly what it's about.
No. To me, I've always seen like an underlying thing. It's not always about Dusty not winning. Because think about it. Every time they bring it up, they're always talking about what Dusty did afterwards. Dusty's kids. When Cody had his rivalry with Seth and Kevin Owens and everything else. I truly think if Cody was to win on WrestleMania 40, the story is not over because now the narrative will shift. It's Cody versus Cody's kids. Roman or Dusty's kids. You know what I'm saying? Roman was trained by Dusty, wasn't he?
I understand where you're going with that, but I mean this with all due respect. You were looking way too much into it. It is.
Yeah.
If he
said yourself, the story never ends. Triple H has said the same thing. The story never ends. You can flip the narrative any way you want.
Right, and I understand that. But look, on one side, yes, if he wins, what then? That's the big question. What then? But how many times have we said on this exact show that this roster is stacked? You have RKO, you have Logan Paul, you have AJ Styles, you have LA Knight, another rising star, you have Seth Rollins, you have Drew McIntyre. That's just the top line. Roman Reigns, The Rock is in here. You still have John Cena floating around somewhere. And until I actually see a clip of him in AEW, you have Sheamus, which I think I'm pretty sure he's in AEW, but I don't want to make that announcement on the show because I don't want to be.
You just now did.
I don't want to be fucking Dave Meltzer, so fuck that guy. But
my
point is you have such a stacked roster, you can flip it any way you want to. You can go 15 different directions. You can have a bunch of people jockeying for position. You've got KO, you've got Rey Mysterio's coming back at some point. You still have your wild card. You still have Damian Priest. You still have Gunther. You still have all these other guys. My point is, if he loses, it sets up this story. When Cody came back, he talks about his fathers fighting Billy Graham, the superstar Billy Graham in Madison Square Garden, which leads me back to what I said a few episodes ago, and I stole this from Bully Ray. Come at me, bro. I don't care. Because I'm on that hill with him and I will die on this hill with him. It needs to end in Madison Square Garden. And having Dusty's ghost, having his father's presence in that building with him. I don't care if it's a $30,000 audience, a 50,000 or 30,000 audience, a 50,000 audience. It doesn't matter. That's where the story needs to end.
I agree to a point. So I didn't really come to this one conclusion until just now hearing you talk. I'm not convinced too much. Now, do I want Cody to win on WrestleMania 40? Yes. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, look at how many years the company has invested in Roman Reigns to make him the champion for so long. I genuinely think that, one, they are either half scared to pull the trigger to dethrone him because of everything they've invested, or Cody is not meant to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Not saying he's not deserving of the title, but if you have someone that's elevated this much like Roman Reigns, you have the company invested. This is the guy for years. And he eventually breaks Hulk Hogan's title reign. I'm not convinced Cody Rhodes is the guy that they want Roman to drop to. Now, who that could be, I really don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that it's really Cody, though.
You could argue that it's The Rock, but listen, The Rock is in his 50s. What are you going to give The Rock a 2-month title?
No. I'm not even talking about The Rock.
No, I know you're not. I mean, again, and let's not forget. I mean, I know he's out on injury, but you still have CM Punk in the mix somewhere when he comes back. To not give him a title shot is just you're stupid at that point. But I see where you're going, and I don't disagree with you.
It's they put him on such a high pedestal that you're gonna need fucking God to knock him off. You're gonna need like a Hulk Hogan to knock him off. And so far, we don't have that in the organization.
I think we do, and the reason I say that is because let's take Cody Rhodes that we know away from the situation. Let's just focus on Cody the person, okay? Not the wrestler, the person.
Right.
You know he's over with the people. You know everybody is pulling for him. Even people that don't like Cody Rhodes are pulling for Cody Rhodes. There was, you know what? I'm not even going to explain it. If you don't know by now, you're not going to fucking know. There was a kid in the audience when Monday Night Raw went off the air a few weeks ago. It was either last week before last. I don't know. It's been in the last month. There was a kid in the audience that was blind. And he held up a sign that said, "I came here to feel Cody Rhodes." Monday Night Raw is off the air. Okay. This is after. Cody Rhodes saw the sign, left the ring, went into the audience, and gave the kid a hug. It was either this past Monday or the Monday before that. Somebody held up a sign wanting Cody Rhodes to do a gender reveal on Raw after they went off the air. And he did it. Cody Rhodes is walking to the aisle during the shows, signing kids' autographs, signing their forehead, signing a piece of paper, signing their toys, giving off his belt. If that doesn't speak Hulk Hogan to you, I don't know what does. He is the guy for the job. And I'm not saying that because he said it in a press conference. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to do some shtick for the show. I'm saying that because I believe it. Cody Rhodes is the guy. Now, you said something that caught my attention, and I completely agree with you, okay? You said, will they pull the trigger? And I 100% agree with you, because once they pull that trigger, yes, they have 15 different directions they can go, but which way will they go? No. Are you going to put the title on Cody for 2 months and then give it to LA Knight and then give it to Seth Rollins and then give it to Drew McIntyre and then give it back to Roman Reigns and then give it to The Rock and then give it to CM Punk when he comes back, give it to RKO before he retires. There's a lot of different options there.
Yeah.
And so to answer, I don't have an answer to your question, but right now we're stuck in this whirlwind of what ifs. We're stuck in this whirlwind of, does he finish the story? Does he not? Because if he doesn't finish the story, the crowd's going to be pissed, but that gives Roman a chance to make it to SummerSlam. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think SummerSlam or close to SummerSlam is Hogan's record. Are they really going to give Roman the chance to tie or even surpass Hulk Hogan's record? Because there's still some animosity between WWE and Hulk Hogan. And if you think otherwise, you're stupid. Now, again, all time heals all wounds. And I firmly believe that, especially in wrestling. However, it's Hulk freaking Hogan. Think about that. That's like beating a Babe Ruth record. That's like Pat Mahomes, or is it Pat Mahomes, quarterback for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
It's like Pat Mahomes beating Tom Brady's record of Super Bowls. That's how monumental that is. Now, again, if you're asking me, if you're asking Whiskey, absolutely. I think Cody wins at WrestleMania 40. I think he has to. Do I think he will? Yeah. Do I want him to? As a fan, yes. I'm pulling for Cody. Of course I want him to win. But as a wrestling fan, as somebody who steps back to see the bigger picture, again, dude, I'm telling you, Madison Square Garden is where it's at, because that's where this story started. That's what Cody was talking about, his dad holding that championship belt in Madison Square Garden. And that to me makes for a much, much greater end of the story.
Okay, so you would have, so I was just looking, and for him to become the third longest champion, longest reigning champion, beating Hulk Hogan's record, it would be late August.
Okay.
So at what point, if you're looking at this from a business perspective, you've put all this time, all this money invested in Roman, do you have him become the third longest reigning champion, or do you keep drawing it out to where he's the number one? And if you do have him, okay, so go ahead and answer that first one. How long would you really have this drawn out for?
Until either he beats or he ties Hogan's record. One of the two. Again,
why Hogan?
I say that because I don't know. I'm like everybody else. I'm just a fan of this. I'm not a wrestler. I don't know Triple H on a personal level. I don't know anybody in WWE on a personal level. I say that because you don't know what the relationship between WWE and Hulk Hogan is. Yes, Hogan is a god. You can say whatever you want. Hogan he's the Babe Ruth. He's the Wayne Gretzky of wrestling, just like Ric Flair is. So do you really want to put Roman Reigns up there? It makes sense. Look what the guy's done. It makes sense. But do you really want to put him up there in the names of Bruno Santino? Do you really want to put him in the names of Hulk Hogan? Do you whoever else has held the title? I'm sorry. Bob Backlund. Right.
So and those are the top three. You got Bruno at 2,800, Bob Backlund at 2,100 plus. And then Hogan, which Roman is closing in on by the end of August.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know how Hogan and WWE, I don't know what their relationship is. It's completely different now because Vince is out of the picture. He's gone. This whole bullshit with him, he's out of the picture. So it really comes down to TKO, Triple H, and Hulk Hogan.
Well,
And we-
apparently Hogan and the company are buddy again because they've reinstated him in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, and again, that leaves the big question mark of did they think Roman is worthy of that title? To me, because it is Hogan, I say no. And look, I'm not a big Hulk Hogan fan, but you can't deny that he helped. He didn't do it himself, but he helped, and he had a big, huge part in making the WWE and what it is now. Yes, I know the McMahons did most of the work, but you can't say Hogan didn't have a hand in that pot because he did. So to answer your question, I don't know. I think it makes more sense from a business standpoint and from a wrestling standpoint to have the story end in Madison Square Garden. SummerSlam, Backlash, Hell in a Cell, whatever pay-per-view is in August, I don't know. I think it makes more sense from a story standpoint and from a business standpoint. But again, I'm a Cody fan. I'm pulling for Cody at WrestleMania. And spoiler alert, he's my pick to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I'm going to call it now. I've been saying that for months.
Okay. So if you think the story ends in in Madison Square Garden, but you still expect him to win in a month or like 6 weeks at WrestleMania 40, who, if it's not Cody, realistically, who do you think could it be?
If it's not Cody,
Because, I mean, think about it. If he loses at WrestleMania 40 to finish the story at Madison Square Garden, like, you say is the best route to go, like Bully Ray Dudley says is the best route to go. If they extend this shit to whenever that may be for Madison Square Garden. Now, think about it. It's not going to be some half-ass show at Madison Square Garden. It's not going to be a SummerSlam. It's not going to be an Elimination Chamber. They're going to have to pull a lot of strings for the stars to align for WrestleMania to be at Madison Square Garden for this whole, the story ends at Madison Square Garden to really come together. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of cards.
That is a lot of cards. It's a lot of what ifs. I mean, again, and you're talking real talk here. I mean, you're talking guys that are injuries, sickness, personal issues, contracts. Who? I don't know. I still think that Cody needs to finish that story at Madison Square Garden with Roman Reigns. Maybe it's a triple threat. Maybe it's take your pick again. Take your pick. The roster is stacked. The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Reigns, Cody Rhodes, RKO, Roman Reigns, Cody. Take your pick.
Is it really wrong that I really, really, really want the person to dethrone Roman Reigns to be Seth Rollins?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because that actually makes a little bit of sense in my head, anyways. Because
they literally started at the same time.
They started at the same time that the Shield. I don't know. Look, we're getting off on a tangent here, and my mind is going way faster than I can keep up. I will say this then.
I will say this then. If it's not Cody Rhodes, the only other person that I can maybe think of that could knock Roman off of that pedestal is already a guy that they have as champion. Now, how long that is, who knows? Who knows what happens after WrestleMania 40? Who knows how long Seth keeps the title or anything else? But if he drops it, I firmly believe he will make a run at Roman because of all the shit that he's been saying leading up to this with The Rock and everything else, him having Cody's back.
Mm-hmm.
They could legitimately have a real good like rivalry again between Seth and Roman and allow the whole Cody Rhodes thing to build up to a Madison Square Garden. If it gets there, whatever.
Right. I'm not
For
gonna.
me, I think Seth is the one that's elevated enough to knock Roman off that pedestal and not Cody. I want Cody to finish the story, don't get me wrong, but I still don't think that the company views him high enough to dethrone their investment. I mean, otherwise, why the fuck would they give him a tag team title, man? Come on. Seriously? He goes from winning the Rumble to challenging for the undisputed title, and his consolation prize is a tag team title. That's the biggest fuck you I've ever seen, man. I mean, are you kidding me right now?
Oh shit!
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want Cody to finish the story. I'm tired of hearing this fucking story. Let the man finish his fucking story. Whether it's WrestleMania 40, whether it's Madison Square Garden, whether it's Timbuktu SummerSlam out in Berlin. I don't care. My thing is, I'm more invested in the whole Roman Reigns storyline kind of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I want to know, when is that bloodline angle going to end? And after all this time, who is going to dethrone Roman Reigns? As much as I'm a fan of Cody, I don't see it.
Okay.
I really don't see it. If it's not Seth Rollins, I really think maybe it's going to be an Uso.
Well, and so you again, you leave out the wild card. And I know he's hurt right now, but he is coming back. And he
CM
said
Punk?
he wanted. Yep, he wants to headline a WrestleMania. I'm telling you,
he is not going to dethrone their poster boy. He has burned so many bridges. I commend him for making an effort to rebuild those. He's doing it at his own pace, his own way. But I don't think Punk is going to be the one to dethrone Roman. I don't think Triple H trusts him enough at that point.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just up to Triple H anymore. Triple H
won't even.
The Triple H has a huge influence, but I don't think at the end of the day he's the one that's going to pull the trigger. He's the one loading the gun.
Knowing how CM Punk now, so we'll go to this.
Don't you finger me.
All right. So Triple H and The Rock are basically the two big voices to determine like what's really going on, right?
Right.
Okay, you have CM Punk, who The Rock and Triple H have a history with in ring and in the locker room. Now you have Triple H having experience with him as his boss. And you have the outside view of how he was in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't think The Rock and Triple H will sign off on someone who's that unpredictable to dethrone their poster boy. They're going to want someone reliable and established. Now, CM Punk against Seth Rollins for that title, fine. Whatever. Maybe the IC title against Gunther. Fine, whatever.
Oof.
But my point is, they're not going to have CM Punk take the Undertaker streak.
The whole world can see your ass right now.
Yeah. I'm playing.
Bruce,
I'm playing.
Bruce says that he has some dollar bills for you.
You're gonna get my ass beat up, bro.
But what, man?
But that's the
Go
thing.
ahead.
They're not gonna have CM Punk take the Undertaker streak. This is what we're dealing with right now.
What, the Undertaker streak?
Yes, that is what we're dealing with right now. Roman Reigns as the champion. He's the equivalent of the Undertaker WrestleMania streak.
Oh, man, I don't know. That's
yes. No. Look at all of those years that they invested in the Undertaker and the WrestleMania streak. Okay. Roman Reigns as the champion for this long, I view it as the Undertaker streak. You're going to need someone really fucking big and powerful and has a lot of pull and influence to dethrone him. That's not CM Punk. Not yet.
Okay. All right. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I just can't believe that we've spent the last 35 minutes talking about Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk.
Well, it is post Elimination Chamber, so
it is, and you know that's I say it all the time, and I know I've beat it with a stick until it's dead, but that's the great thing about wrestling is we have these type of conversations, we have these type of quote unquote arguments, if you want to call it that. We don't know,
and that's it doesn't even fucking matter,
right? I talk about it, and I know earlier I got a little passionate, but it's one of those things. Is as fans, we get passionate about these things, just like football fans get passionate about football, or baseball fans get passionate about baseball. Whatever. It's sports entertainment. Yes, it's all scripted. Oh my gosh, are you telling me Harry Potter wasn't real either? Shut up. We know this. We still love it. We still love to tune in. I'm going to tune in tomorrow night for AEW to see if Sting really does have his last match against the Young Bucks.
I don't have Sling TV anymore, so if you do watch it, let me know how that goes.
I think it's on. It should be on Hulu or YouTube if you have any of those.
I have Hulu, but not the TV one.
No, I have Hulu TV, but you know, I like I said, I'll tune in for the Sting thing just because it's Sting. I have to watch it. But my brain's fried now. I still say that Cody wins at WrestleMania. I don't see another outcome, but again, I'm talking completely right now as a fan. I hope I'm wrong. Part of me hopes I'm wrong. Part of me hopes I'm right. I'm kind of split down the middle, but we'll see. You know, as the old adage goes, stay tuned. WWE is doing a lot of exciting things right now. I know Elimination Chamber was it was extremely predictable, but we knew that going into it because it's the pay-per-view. I mean, can you honestly sit there and say that you want to see a title change hands before WrestleMania after all these matches have pretty much been announced? It doesn't make sense. Again, it's got to be believable. Go back to the psychology 101 of wrestling. It's got to be believable. So,
the only one that I kind of expected to maybe change hands was the women's tag team title. Asuka and what's her name, Kairi Sane, versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They were doing the pre-show countdown.
Oh yeah, I don't.
But if anything was going to switch hands, I kind of expected that to happen. Only because one, Indy Hartwell is Australian. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were really hyping up the Australian blood that, you know, WWE is putting out there. Right. And two, the match just kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't announced until like 2 days before the event happened. There was no build up to it whatsoever.
I don't know. I still stand by this, and you know what? I'm going to cut 2 quick promos. So, Mr. Producer, you need to make sure that you cut these and clip these so we can have them for social medias. Number 1.
Okay, hold up. All right, go for it.
Promo number 1. If Cody Rhodes wins at WrestleMania, I don't think it needs to be a count out, disqualification, interference. Bully Ray, Busted Open Nation, I'm talking to you. I want to know how people feel about Cody Rhodes making Roman Reigns tap out. We have not seen that in a long time. Make Roman tap. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great TV. That way, the following Raw, be it The Rock, be it Seth Rollins, be it Drew McIntyre, be it Cody Rhodes himself, everybody can look Roman in the face and go, you tapped out. There's your first promo.
Okay. And what is the second?
Second one. This one is, again, I've done this before on the show, and I can't find it when I go back. This is not so much a promo. It's more of a plea. No Label Brewing, Denton County Brewing, I'm begging you, please, for the love of all that is holy. Long time coming beer needs to be the official beer of the Unpadded podcast. The Whiskey Pro himself is begging you, please let this be true.
I messaged, dude. I think all we had to do is just reach out to him. I mean, they're still canning it. There were tons of them when I went to the brewery. This past weekend.
If you are in the DFW,
oh, and area, I got a nice little zip up hoodie when we were there.
Ooh, nice,
yeah. And I was wearing this hat, and Seth, the owner, he recognized me. He's like, "Hey, nice hat. It looks good." Da, da, da. I'm like, all right, let's go.
I need to get me one of them hats, but
the little fanboy in me came out.
I am begging Denton County Brewing and No Label Brewing. I can't leave them out. If you're in the DFW area, if you're in the Houston area, and you are a beer drinker, a beer connoisseur, anything, long time coming is by far the best beer I have had, and I love it. That's not it's not a cheap shot. It's not a joke. I'm dead serious when I say that is my favorite beer. That needs to be the official beer. I don't care if it doesn't, if y'all don't bottle anymore after this. I love that beer, and I would love the honor to have it called the official beer of our show. So there you go.
All right, I'll cut it up and I'll send it to you on Discord, and then you can like post it out there, or I'll post it out there. I'll reach out to Seth and Andrew and see what we can do.
Awesome. Oh, fuck. Man.
For once, I was talking more than you.
I know. I'm proud of you, man. I really am. I'm proud of you. So it might be. I tell you what, the whiskey kicked my ass tonight. It's I am in full range whiskey mode at the moment. So
are you gonna be going off and playing Power World now?
No, I actually have taken a break from Power World.
Really?
I don't have anybody to play with. I love the game. I do. I love the game. I won't go off on a tangent. It's a fun game, but I've realized that I can't play video games for more than like an hour by myself. I lose interest. Power World's a fun game. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's on Steam, I believe. Coming soon, supposedly. The rumor, and again, this is a rumor, it's coming to PS5, but that has not been to be determined, I should say. But I'm going to go strangle a dog is what I'm going to go do. But yeah, man. The last thing I want to say real quick, and this was a few weeks ago, I noticed this. We got to talk about your boxing folks and your UFC folks, because there was a fight, and I don't know if it was boxing. I don't know if it was UFC. It was one of the two, but it was an $88 pay-per-view that you had to order.
That was probably UFC.
Dana White, fix it, bro. Fix it, please. Broke asses like me can't afford that. So,
I mean, they're coming up with the UFC 300 here in a bit, man. So UFC 298 was back on February 17th, and it had the featherweight champion get knocked the fuck out.
I love the sound.
Round 2, 3.5 minutes. He got knocked out, dude.
Oh,
New featherweight champion.
all right. We've covered a lot tonight. We've had a lot of fun. Bruce, you have anything else for the people?
No people. I don't have nothing for the people.
Nothing for the people. So,
But we
Until
will
next
start
time.
talking about UFC and boxing.
I told you if you want to talk
caught
about
my
it,
interest.
I'm for it. I just don't know a lot about it, so don't expect me to have a lot of thoughts on it.
Okay.
So, that being said, thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure. This is our outro. As always, I'm Whiskey.
I'm Bruce.
Stay in school. Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool. Don't get crabs.
No.